Friendly warning. This is the scariest horror movie I have ever seen. It is based on a Japanese folktale. The story is about a mysterious village and spying. In this film, ghosts are everywhere. Even if you watch till the end, you will feel like someone is constantly watching you. It is said that in a mysterious village in Japan, there is a very evil curse. Anyone who goes there will be cursed. All day, 24 hours, it feels like eyes are staring at you. You can neither survive nor die peacefully. Eventually, people fall into illusions and are tortured to death while alive. After Taro came back from that village, he started experiencing strange events. One day, he went to the supermarket, but he looked like a mentally unstable madman. Clearly, he had been tormented until he looked pale and lifeless. When he returned home, he sealed all the gaps and cracks with tape, afraid that eyes might suddenly appear from them. Only after making sure all gaps were closed, he lay on the bed and finally slept. But shortly after lying down, he was awakened by a strange sound. He sat up in fear and grabbed his head with his hands. The next moment, just by making eye contact, Taro died horribly on the spot. Even the police could not find any clues. But a reporter named Komi saw a huge opportunity for a breaking story. If she discovered the truth, it would cause a big sensation. So she went to Taro's house to investigate. As soon as she arrived, she met Taro's friend Hoko. Both of them had been to that village before, so Hoko knew exactly what had happened to Taro. Looking at a box in front of him, Hoko suddenly got scared and quickly sealed it with tape. He nervously told Komi about it. Komi didn't fully believe him. She wanted to ask for details, but then the phone rang at the wrong time. She went to answer it, leaving Hoko alone in the room. While Hoko was alone, strange things started happening again. The curtains that Taro had sealed suddenly got pulled open by something. Hoko quickly picked up tape and tried to seal it again, but then strange noises came from behind. He turned around in fear and saw that it was just a dripping faucet. He went to turn it off, but the next second, the sink made another eerie noise. Hoko got a little curious and looked back. Suddenly, dirty water sprayed all over his face. Panicked, he ran away, but Komi saw from the door that there was nothing on Hoko's face. Thinking he might have encountered something strange, Komi went inside the house, but after looking around, she couldn't find anything unusual. As she was about to leave, she stepped on something. When she touched it, her hands were full of mud. Seeing this, Komi didn't think much and continued investigating Taro's death. After asking several people, she finally learned from Taro's classmates about the mysterious village. They said that before going there, Taro and Hoko were normal, but after returning, both of them became very strange. Later, Taro died mysteriously, and Hoko began experiencing strange events too. After hearing this, Komi realized that the truth might be hidden in that village. So she went to Hoko's house to ask what he had seen in the village. But she learned from Hoko's mother that ever since he returned home yesterday, Hozi did not step out of the room for even a moment. His mother knocked on the door several times, but there was no response at all. While they were talking, suddenly a heart-wrenching scream came from Hozi's room. Hearing this, both of them felt extreme unease. His mother quickly opened the door with a key, but the moment they pushed the door open, they saw a very strange scene. The room was completely dark. Whether it was the mirror or the windows, everything was covered with tape by Hozi. He even tightly wrapped tape over his eyes, trying not to see anything. Even though his mother kept comforting him, he continued to struggle desperately, screaming. It was only when they took Hozi to the hospital that his emotions gradually calmed down. Seeing Hozi react like this, Xiao Mei became more certain that the truth was connected to that village. So she called her boyfriend Xiao Shuai and drove to a place called Lulai Village. There was a stone there, which was a famous landmark of Lulai Village. But as soon as they found it, Xiao Shuai suddenly saw something, and a look of fear appeared on his face. He quickly told his girlfriend, "Do not look back." But instead of stopping her curiosity, this made Xiao Mei even more eager to see what was behind them. The results shocked her. A little girl appeared out of nowhere. Both of them got scared and ran immediately, but they didn't know that at the moment they made eye contact with the girl, she had already fixed her gaze on them. After that, they found a man named Lao Wang in the village, and from him, they got some clues. It turned out that Taro and Hozi had problems because they were cursed by the village. The curse was called the Watching Plan. Once someone is affected by the curse, first they see hallucinations, then they hear strange sounds. If it gets worse, they can see a pair of eyes anywhere, always staring at them. The cursed person slowly loses their mind and eventually dies suddenly. Hearing this, both of them were terrified. They had seen people spying on others, but being spied on by a ghost was their first experience. Next, they wanted to ask more about the little girl they saw at the village entrance, but Lao Wang refused to say anything. Just as they got a small clue, Hozi experienced something strange. Late at night, Hozi was lying in bed sleeping, when suddenly a strange sound came to his ears. He got up in surprise and looked around, but nothing was there. A doctor walked by in the hallway, and Hozi thought he was imagining things, so he ignored it. But as he tried to lie down, something dirty dripped from the ceiling. Seeing the drops, Hozi became extremely scared. He carefully looked up and was terrified. Two small, terrifying hands appeared slowly, like ghosts coming to take his life. Hozi was frightened, and suddenly he was completely terrified by a pair of blood-red eyes. He ran away blindly and reached a forest. No matter where he ran, the eyes eyes seemed to follow him. A creepy, deadly ringing sound kept echoing in his ears. Finally, Hosey's mind completely broke. Soon after Hosey's incident, Xiaomei got the news. They immediately drove to the hospital, but as they turned a corner, they ran straight into Hosey. By now, Hosey had been tormented so much that he was unconscious. He walked unsteadily with a blank expression and was hit by a truck on the spot, dying instantly. Xiaomei was terrified seeing this scene, but she had no idea that ever since encountering that strange little girl at the village entrance, they had already been cursed by the peeping plan. A few days later, one night, Xiaomei went to her boyfriend's house to visit, but inside, the house was deathly quiet, as if her boyfriend had never been there. While she was puzzled, she suddenly stepped on something. Looking down, it was just a small, unnoticed stain. Xiaomei ignored it at first. Then, suddenly, a strange sound came to her ears for no reason. Following the sound, she went to the kitchen. She carefully opened the cabinet below. Xiao Shuai had been cruelly cut into pieces by someone and stuffed into the cabinet, but his eyeballs were still trembling slightly. Seeing this, Xiaomei's legs went weak. She dragged herself and ran away quickly, but just as she was catching her breath, Xiao Shuai returned home completely unharmed. Only then did Xiaomei realize that everything she had just seen was an illusion, but as she calmed down, she saw in horror that Xiao Shuai's bag was full of tape. She remembered when Taro and the box were cursed. The same kind of thing had appeared in their room. Could Xiao Shuai also be cursed? Xiaomei wanted to ask, but suddenly her boyfriend's attitude completely changed. Without a word, he pushed her out. Xiaomei knocked desperately on the door, but to protect her, he did not open it. Then suddenly a strange bell rang in her ears. Hearing screams from inside the house, Xiaomei rushed Xiao Shuai to the hospital, but by then, Xiao Shuai was already mentally broken from fear. Even the slightest touch made him struggle desperately as if going mad. To save her boyfriend, Xiaomei went once again to Lao Wang. She asked him about the truth behind the curse, how it started, and who the girl at the village entrance really was. Lao Wang had no choice but to reveal everything. It turned out Lulai village was once a prosperous village, but the residents were all cruel in heart. One day, a mother and her daughter got lost and stayed overnight in Lulai village. At first, the villagers welcomed them warmly, but when night came, they completely changed their behavior. They forcibly tried to harm the mother and attempted to kill the girl. Even though the girl desperately called for help from the villagers, they ignored her. Her screams echoed throughout the rainy night. Her great resentment at death formed a curse. She became the peeping plan, wanting to torment those evil villagers to death. But the villagers would not give up easily. To avoid being cursed and to suppress the girl's spirit, they built a temple in a dark underground tunnel. They turned the girl's mother's necklace into a talisman. Then, they took an orphan to guard the place. As long as the talisman remained, the girl's spirit could not harm anyone. But at that time, Lao Wang did not believe in the curse. To find the truth, he accidentally came to the tunnel and discovered the orphan. Lao Wang could not understand how such a small child could be there alone. Before the child could answer, Lao Wang suddenly heard a strange bell. The girl who had been cruelly killed by the villagers appeared behind him. Lao Wang was terrified and fell to the ground, but the orphan behind him raised the necklace, and it moved slightly a few times. In front of Lao Wang, the angry spirit slowly disappeared. Then, to thank him, Lao Wang took the necklace and ran away with the girl that very night. Without the magical item to control it, the village started facing bad luck and disasters continuously. The villagers were also tortured to death by the girl's angry spirit. Besides that, any outsider who entered the village would also be cursed by the girl, living in fear all the time. Even Lao Wang could not avoid it, so they even poked their own eyes out to finally escape the curse. After learning the truth, Xiaomei was extremely shocked, but she thought that the girl would not kill people randomly. Maybe there was still a little kindness left in her heart, so she decided to find the girl and try to change her with love. But the girl's years of anger could not be resolved in just a few words. Before Xiaomei even started, her boyfriend faced something strange again. The familiar bell suddenly rang in the ears. Pairs of blood-red eyes were constantly watching her. Xiao Shuai got scared and ran immediately, but no matter where he ran, the sound and the eyes followed him like shadows. Then the girl's angry spirit appeared right in front of them. With a scream that echoed across the sky, Xiao Shuai lost his mind again. Doctors rushed over, but in the next moment, to escape the girl, Xiao Shuai took 2 chopsticks and poked his own eyes out in front of everyone. Xiaomei was heartbroken when she learned what happened. She knew this was all the girl's doing. She immediately took the necklace and went to the village entrance, hoping to meet the girl's spirit. No matter how she tried to reason with her, the girl did not listen. Only when Xiaomei showed the necklace did the girl finally return to her human appearance. But this did not mean the anger in her heart was gone. She even took Xiaomei to the place where her mother had died, so Xiaomei could experience what real pain feels like. Seeing the scene of the mother and child being brutally killed, Xiaomei felt deep sorrow. She knew that just talking would not be enough to resolve the girl's anger. Perhaps only her mother's necklace could bring some comfort, so she placed the necklace at the place where the girl had died tragically. But in the next moment, Xiaomei's heart was overwhelmed. She had only wanted to comfort her, but the girl wanted to call her mom. No, absolutely not. Even though Xiaomei struggled desperately to escape, the girl dragged her straight into hell. Because Xiaomei could not not let go of her boyfriend. One night later, Xiao Shuai heard the familiar bell again and his girlfriend's long-missed gentle voice. Okay, today's story ends here. See you in the next episode.